You know we had to give y'all a Commanders pod with things breaking down like this. Sorry for the delay. We had to get things situated on the back end, but you're listening to the Urban Sports Scene with Wole Akinso. Like I said, this is a special pod. It's all about the Commanders trading for Deebo Samuel. But first, let's knock out some logistics. Subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, and other podcast platforms. Just search the Urban Sports Scene. Also, make sure you subscribe to the Urban Sports Scene YouTube channel and Bowie TV's YouTube channel. As y'all can tell, I got a special guest from Bowie TV. You already know who it is. So y'all saw the intro, so you know what time it is. And don't forget to tweet us at Urban Sports Scene. Hit us up on IG and TikTok at Urban Sports Scene. And like our Urban Sports Scene Facebook page. Also join our Urban Sports Scene Facebook group. Search Urban Sports Scene, sports bloggers, sports podcasters, and sports debates. All right, it's time to get into our tradition, the pregame. Here's what we have on tap. Founder of CWall Sports and Entertainment and Bowie TV's Washingon Commanders reporter Candi will join me to talk about the Commanders acquiring former San Francisco 49er wide receiver Deebo Samuel. All right, let's have Candi join us right now. What is good, Candi?
And it's okay to be. I pride myself on transparency. It's totally okay. To tell everybody it was my fault. We were late.
Oh, come on now, stop that.
It was my fault. Sorry.
Stop it.
I was just got back from combine. Help, help me, help myself, and I've been working since I got back. So, I prefer being home dealing with all of this, and having to be in Indy. It was going to drop sooner or later. I just wish I was kind of like in one spot. So, but it was my fault, y'all. Thank you, Wole, for trying to hide it, but it's okay.
No, we a team. I keep telling you.
But I'm like,
worried about folks being late. Like, what's happening? Hey, Cam, what's going on, Cam? You know what I'm saying? What's good? What is good? And what's going? I see a lot of people going. Eric, Paul, Dujane, what's going on, fam? Just happy a lot of y'all on here to kind of vibe with it. So appreciate y'all as well. Anyway, hold on. Like, George has a question for you. Did you go to the steakhouse that all the big wigs go to in Indianapolis? I forget the name of it.
Yes.
See, look, she big time. And you should expect better, George. You should say yes. You should already know that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. George, you should know. You should know better. Yeah. Come on, man. Candy's the big wig. We talking about?
I appreciate it.
What are we doing here? Like, what are we doing? We ain't going. We not do that. All the big wigs.
Look, depending on what it is, it's not St. Elmo's. St. Elmo's is one of the it's the most popular steakhouse, but that's not. That's not the spot. That's not the spot. So
it was not the spot?
No.
Oh, okay. Like I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't even know anything about like Indianapolis, like steakhouses or anything like that.
I've been a few times, right? Because Combine, Commanders played there. What was that? 2 seasons ago.
Yeah.
And my sorority has had a convention there as well. So, but it took me 3 years to now be like a tour guide. Like I know where to go, and that could be bad, could be good, but I know like everywhere to go in downtown Indianapolis is actually kind of ridiculous that I know.
Paul is searching. He's like, here you go. This is Paul searching. Oh, sorority. He can ask. Oh no, he's asking about your sorority.
Oh yes, I'm a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. Absolutely.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. I have family members.
Great guess.
All of my family members are Deltas.
Great women.
Yeah, so I am very familiar with the Delta, the Delta group. Hey, yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
I should know.
Let it be known.
Do.
Let it be known. Let it be known. All right, so let's get into it. Candi. Obviously, everybody's hype geeked. It's wild because I had Lake talking about this when it was a rumor. And I told him like I really didn't like. It would be cool with me. Like I know a lot of people, and especially with the asking price. But let's get what they got, what they had to give up to get them, which I think was kind of dope. The Commanders traded their 5th round pick for wide receiver Deebo Samuels. They didn't have to break the bank. But for you, what was your thought process when this news broke?
I mean, well, we would have to back it up, right? Because I think on Thursday I did your show. I don't know if we talked about it at all, but it was a very real thing. It was a real thing. Once we were out there, it was like, okay. And it was 2 things became a thing that it was, it was this, and the Jonathan Allen news.
Mm-hmm.
So I said one or the other is going to break this week, combine week.
Yeah.
I just assumed it would been Jonathan Allen, which is that news came up, but not, nothing has happened yet per se, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I thought was going to happen. But by Friday, speaking of Lake and I, he went on a come walk and talk with me, because I joke about being nosy, but that's really what I'm doing. Honestly. I go to combine drills, but I'm really, it depends on the situation.
Yeah.
And last year was a very heavy attending the drills, attending the player media availabilities. But this year for me, it was more like, I'm going to just see what I'm going to find out. Let's go and talk. And I literally was kind of like on Friday talking to Lake, and we ended up just having this conversation. And I remember Lake looked at me and just said, we already know the answer. Deebo's coming to Washington. And I was like, you know what? And I'm fine with that. I said, I just don't want Adam to get fleeced for him. That's all. I said, I just need to know between a John Lynch and an Adam Peters, who's going to get fleeced, because somebody's going to get fleeced, and I just don't want it to be Adam.
Yeah.
And it wasn't Adam.
Yeah.
So I'm completely fine with it. It goes back to what we've been talking about, win now. The end result has to be in win now.
Mm-hmm.
I know, and I've said this on my show, said this here several times, that I know it's been a lot of almost looking at this season as though it is just this past season, as though it was just magical and just can't fit, And so I don't think it was like magical. It was magical for everybody watching.
Yeah.
But for this team, it wasn't a failure, it wasn't that, but it was status quo. This is what we do. This is how, in the words of Dan Quinn, this is how they get down. And losing that NFC championship game hurt very much so. And so now it's back to win now, as it always is. And so I really think relationships matter. All the things matter. And this is probably where we're going to go ahead and play that clip.
Yeah, play it right now.
Because I think, two questions I asked Adam Peters last week, and this is going to help with the whole conversation. So you can go ahead and play that clip.
All right, cool.
Hi there. So far, you all have largely been able to keep this coaching staff together. So what does that say about, going back to your point of what Dan Quinn, the culture he's built, what does that have to say to keeping most of these coaching staff together?
Well, that's exactly it. I think it's the culture that he built, that people want to be here, and coaches want to be here, and coaches that have other opportunities will turn those down to stay here, and that's all Q and what he's built in this culture and the environment, and I think it's really, really fun to be a coach. I'm not a coach, but around them all the time, and they love it. And not only that, but we have a great group of coaches. I think I would put that first-year coaching staff against any first-year coaching staff and what he assembled. And that goes back to last year when there were so many people that wanted to coach with him, just knowing about him, not even knowing him really well, and then wanting to stay this year. It speaks a lot to who he is.
And how do you go about prioritizing which position groups that you all kind of target in draft and free agency?
I think first you look at where you don't have anybody in the depth chart. There's a few places that we don't, but you assess really your needs with what's available both in the draft and free agency, and try to balance that as much as you can. And it's like a puzzle a little bit where, okay, this position's really strong in free agency, where this position will probably need to address during the draft. And that can change, and that's fluid, just depending on, there's all different ways to get guys to these trades and cap casualties and things that can happen. But you try to do, going into the offseason into March, really just understanding the totality of the classes and understanding where you can best draft.
I really wanted, so it's two different things here. I'm going to keep harping on this. It is a very big deal that this coaching staff stay together. Very, very big deal, because where I continue to talk about Adam Peters and Deebo Samuel, I didn't use all my clues in the fact that Deebo Samuel also has a relationship with Anthony Lynn.
Yeah.
Right? very close, and that matters. So when everyone starts talking about, is this person going to fit this scheme or this, they're going to make it work.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to make it fit. Right. And it becomes going back to the question of prioritizing what they have versus what they don't. You really have to look at the roster as it is, minus the free agents.
Yep.
And where they don't have anybody. Exactly what Adam Peters told me in that clip. Because you have to look at it like that. That you don't have anybody. And you got to look at what's available via free agency, draft. Of course, if someone requests a trade, then that person is now available as well. But where they're going to get better and where they can get better based on that definition of a commander and win now, that is what this team is going to do. And I've been seeing a lot of pessimism around Deebo. And I'm like,
you talk about that because you actually we chatted off scene. And
yeah, I was like, yes. So it's a few things. One, I don't understand it. Right. And I know for me, even I was kind of like, I don't know if it depends on like the culture, what they want, who they want. And you have heard me say these are superb individuals in the locker room, but on the football field, get out of their way. This is not, they on demon time, seriously. And it needs to result in win now. And we also know win now, this team has a desire to make sure they have home field. They talk about home field advantage a lot. Home field advantage in the second season, which is the playoffs, only comes with one or two things: high seeding and winning the division. That's it. So we already know they want to do second season. They already know, I see a comment here.
Where?
I think it's Eric Jessup's the best ability is availability.
I'm telling you. Go ahead. This is what you talk about.
Deebo had a quiet season last year. But he still had more yards from scrimmage than any of the other receiver on the Washington Commanders, not named Terry McLaurin. Quite. Okay. Yeah. And I also want to remind people that Dante Fowler Jr. was hurt almost the whole summer last year. I think people forget that. He missed all of training camp. Worked with this training staff. Still had an amazing season. Right? It's just an example of this training staff that they have is very, very good. And I mean, and just the productivity we saw overall, right? Jaden's rib injury and others. There was other little kinks and injuries there as well throughout the season that kind of went unnoticed and untalked about because this team, the athletic department, the athletic training, they're very, very good. And I know that's something that everybody's not used to coming out of Ashburn either. But an opportunity to get better where they do not have anyone. And they sought an opportunity to get better. Relationships absolutely matter. Do I think it's going to turn into the Washington 49ers? No, I don't.
Is that what folks are saying?
I don't think it's going to turn into that. But I think it goes position group as well in what's available. Deebo has a lot of, he's a versatile. Let's also talk. Very versatile. You can use him at receiver. You can use him at coming out the backfield. You can use him at running. You can. And in the trenches of the playoffs, we have seen Deebo Samuel be very, very successful at returning kicks.
Yeah.
Okay? Like he can do that. If you need somebody to get down the field, if you need the advantage in starting field position, he can do that for you. In a key moment, he can do that. And I'm a special teamer, so I care about things like that.
Yeah, come on, you're a teamer.
And we talk about yards after catch. All right. Hey, Jaden Daniels needs a bunch of Jaden Daniels around him. Right? Demon time all the time when you're on that field. And he needs that level of power. Let's also remember, okay, we got a little beef situation maybe right between Marshawn Lattimore and AJ Brown. That's something new this season. But who we talking about? Deebo and CJ Gardner-Jones, we know, got himself kicked out of round 2 of the Eagles game because he was out there talking crazy. And so Deebo and CJ have history there.
Yeah.
You can bully some people, but you can't
bully
bully.
Can't bully no Deebo.
You cannot bully Deebo. And if we really want to be honest and objective, we know that the offense sometimes struggle against very physical defenses.
Very good point.
They did. They did. They
Very
out there
good
getting
point.
bullied. Just knocking you're just knocking footballs out of their hands. Just hitting them way too hard, and the football goes flying. It's just where you can get better when you understand a team that you have to see 2 times a year, potentially 3 times a year. This is who you have to be in order to get that home field advantage in the second season. And they going and this is going to continue, everybody. So, you know, we didn't know what type of time they were on last season. We know now. We'll be having a couple conversations, you know.
Yeah, I do want to add on stuff, some of the things you mentioned. So, yeah, I think in terms of fit, I think it's an excellent fit. I just think that, you know, what you mentioned about what he brings to the table with Cliff. You know, Cliff is a guy who does a lot of gadget plays. He does a lot of plays and misdirection plays and whatnot. And Deebo is he's the ultimate Swiss Army knife when it comes to, you know, being a playmaker. You don't really it's hard to just say he's a wide receiver. To me, he's a playmaker. You know what I mean? I don't look at him as a tremendous route runner, but it's a guy that when he can if you can put the ball in his hands, he's explosive and he can take it the distance. And that's something Washington needs tremendously. You know, they need somebody. We talk about that in the running game, but we need that also in the pass game. You can't always rely on Terry McLaurin to take one play and take it to the house. You got a guy in Deebo that we've seen throughout his career in the NFL where he gets the hands in his football, everybody's shook. They're scared because he has that ability, you know, to take the ball to the house. It's not like, and it's crazy because some people just have that innate talent to do it, right? Deebo isn't like a guy who runs 4.3, but he's a guy on a football field that's just fast and physical. So he could take something, he could take a 5-yard slant and could be gone. He can break about 3 tackles like a Marshawn Lynch at running back and take it to the house. And I think that's something that Washington desperately needs. And to something you said too, he brings an attitude, his physicality. We don't want to admit it, but it is what it is. Like, we got punked by the Eagles. All right, it is what it is. Like, we got punked by them. And it's good to have a guy that when he gets the ball in his hands, like, he's bringing that physicality. You know what I mean? He's bringing that. He's bringing that level of like, all right, you want to try it. If you a DB, you're not a guy who wants to tackle Deebo Samuel. Just he's that type of dude. And also, yeah, he is that too, Paul. You're correct. People don't know this. He's actually an Eagles killer. He is a guy. If you look at his body of work, look at his stats against the Philadelphia Eagles. He is a guy that does major work against the Eagles. So I think this was to me. I said this before when on a prior show about Deebo when it was the rumor was like, I don't have no issue with getting them. You know what I mean? Like, it was always dependent on what draft pick we gave up. And the 5th rounder, I think, is quite fine for a Deebo Samuel. I think that Deebo Samuel brings a lot to the table for this Commanders team. I think it was an excellent move by Adam Peters. I won't even say he got fleeced because we fleeced the Niners because at the end of the day he wasn't going to be a Niner. It was the last year in his deal. So it's not like whatever. They got a draft pick. They got something for him. It's almost similar to what the situation we're having with Jonathan Allen. You got to get something for him because you don't think he's going to be here on the squad. So I ain't mad at it. I think it was a great move. Great play by Adam Peters. It's awesome to see grown-ups in the building, right? Having a guy that is good at his job, finding a way to make this team better. Lamar said Deebo has great games versus the Eagles. Definitely.
Yeah. I mean, that's the team. Look, listen. And look. I don't know if I said this on Thursday. Maybe I didn't know it as deep as it was Thursday evening when I was on the show.
Yeah.
The feeling is mutual with the Philadelphia Eagles and the Washington Commanders, okay?
Oh, it definitely is.
The feeling is absolutely mutual. It is confirmed. They're absolutely mutual, and it ain't about no fear. Ain't nobody scared. Let me be very clear. But these are very smart front offices that everybody is like, what in the heck did Adam Peters and Dan Quinn do in 1 year? And the reality is, like you just said, there are adults in the building. There are people that are very good at their jobs and they care. And unfortunately, the franchise and the fan page were just dealing with people that didn't really care because you can see just the 180 that happens when people care.
Yeah.
When people care, that is literally the difference. It wasn't like a whole lot had to happen. They just had to care. And they got a group of people that all care and all want to win. This is not a situation where it's like win now and development are not really synonymous right here. They're going to, like, if they continue with any draft picks, right? If they draft anybody, if they keep, we talked about this on Thursday, if they continue with the draft picks, let's be very clear. These are going to have to be players that are ready to get playing time come week 1.
Agreed.
Right. And so we're talking about, well, what other players, whatever, you still got to go into training camp with like 90 people. And, one thing I've been saying since mid-season is, oh my goodness, training camp is going to be good. Oh, that's going to be good. I can't wait. It's going to be hot. But I just be like,
it's going to be good.
It'll be real good. It would be like this. Oh man, wow.
Shit, everybody go out there be torch. Nah.
And so, it's just one of those situations where it's not, you got to respect the people in the room. I was talking to Karita about this. It's about a completely different topic, but I think it's applicable here. You have to respect the names.
Yeah.
Right. So when you talk about Adam Peters, a Lance Newmark, Doug Williams still being an actual piece, just not a figurehead piece.
I love that.
Actual piece sitting at the table in interviews with draft prospects, talking to people, just a piece of this, a part of this, right? Along with this coaching staff. These are coaches and front office staff with name recognition in the NFL that are highly respected. And these people have come together to make a whole lot of, a lot of raising of hell, right?
Yeah, raise hell. I love it.
They did it.
Yep.
And now people are like, wait a second, let's be very, very clear. I would never say that nobody's scared. The Commanders not scared, the Eagles not scared. I'm scared, but they are preparing. So expect the Eagles to respond accordingly because they are preparing for what they know is getting prepared. About to be. Absolutely. Because it really is, the key is winning the division.
Yes.
The key is winning the division. If you really, again, using the clues, you want home field advantage. All right, win your division. Get top of the line seeding. Look at what everybody else has done across the league. The Commanders didn't fire anybody. They didn't let anybody go from a coaching perspective. They're pleased with what they have and who they have. And another thing is the coaching staff. Another part of using your clues, look at these top, who's been traded or who's requesting a trade. Let's also look at free agents that have relationships with coaches on the staff. Because this was probably more Anthony Lynn than it was Adam Peters, if I'm being real honest. Right? People know what they need. And also remember, Anthony Lynn is a former head coach. Their voices are heard all the time. And I'm going to get to this comment. The Eagles are going to respond accordingly. And everybody in on Myles Garrett. That's why the Browns GM got up there and was like, "Oh, we not letting them go because now you want to, the price got to go up." Of course, no one in their right mind wants to let Myles Garrett go.
Oh, he ain't going nowhere.
He may have to do a Hassan Reddick and sit out.
Oh no! No. I mean, when he ain't going nowhere, he ain't going nowhere but Washington. I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. But
even with that, he might.
I know he might. I'm just joking around.
I'm going to talk tough.
Yeah.
To get the price up for how much they're gonna give for him. But it's Myles Garrett. Now, let's also be clear, because I want to go back to this point that I think is missed.
Everybody.
Once a team, which Myles Garrett actually isn't in this situation, right? He has requested the trade. The team hasn't publicly said, we grant you permission to seek one. See, that was another difference between the 49ers, right?
Yeah.
When John Lynch said last week, yes, we, hey, we've given him and his agent permission. Now the player can say, send me here. I want to go there. And I told you all last week, please don't sleep on the Commanders going from last to 11th on that NFLPA survey. Because what they have up on 1 through 10 teams is they have the better record. So now you are an instant destination because players like it there. Can y'all believe that? Remember all these years, all these decades of demise and despair in 1 year. Now all of a sudden it has become a destination. Why? Because of the record and because players are speaking out and say, we really like it here. This is all right. This is cool. So
they should like it here. Like at the end of the day, like Washington is doing everything the right way. You know what I mean? Like bringing in, like I even like this move with Deebo. Like it shows like smart football. Like he's, it's 1 year left on his deal. Which I'll talk about like some of my concerns about it because it's the same as another player. But it's 1 year left on this deal. But again, it's like a prove me situation. You only gave a 5th round pick. So it's a prove me situation. Like if you ball out, and typically dudes play well in their contract years anyway. So if he balls out, then you got a situation where you're getting him at his top finest. And also, that's good for you when you're going against a team like the Eagles or maybe an improved Dallas Cowboys team or maybe like teams like the Detroit Lions, other teams in this conference in the NFC, or hopefully even in January, February, right? So when you got a guy that's who's playing for something other than just winning football games, it's an added incentive, an added motivational factor. You know what I'm saying for his development as a player in 2025. I do think that it's a situation where it's just a smart business move for Adam Peters and the Washington Commanders. I think in all situations it's smart, and it's even to me. It takes away from even the question that people may say, does he fit the culture? Well, like I think that he's going to do whatever it takes for him to get his money. So I think in that to be real with you, he's going to do whatever it takes. So it doesn't matter. He'll fit the culture for 2025. That I will say.
Yes, people do miraculous things when they want to be somewhere.
Paul, this is a question for you, Candi from Paul. Question: relationship Peters with the Niners will we see at least 2 more Niners?
I don't think it's gonna turn into the Washington 49ers, but at the same token, I don't know. Like, I think we should just take it for what it. Once someone is available, let's be clear. Deebo was available. This wasn't like, Deebo became available.
Yeah.
So I think once you're looking at people, players who have now requested a trade, right, or are available in free agency, that's what you really got to look at. Okay, well, who on the Commanders know them? Not players, because players matter as well. But did you see how Skip Bayless was losing his mind? That's how you should know. Don't question the move, because Skip Bayless is he just unraveled. He's just very upset. And said, well, this is what Commanders fans need to see right here. Just Skip Bayless is this mad. And he made a comment. Deebo Samuel is going to Washington with people he know and love.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what it's a good look. You just got a situation where
I'm around these people. It's different when they love each other.
Yeah.
And it's different when they all got the same arch nemesis. In Philadelphia, where the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Okay.
Yeah. And for Deebo, like obviously when he had to want to come here, like he played with Brock Purdy, but he got Jaden Daniels. Like can you talk about that element, like the Jaden Daniels element to bring Deebo here?
I think Lake and I both posted last week. It was really something, and we talked to some Commander staff on Friday when I had Lake on my. Trust me on this, Lake. Let's be nosy. Let's just work with me for a minute. Sit in my open office here and let's see who we see. And let's see who we see.
Sit in my corner. Sit in my office right here.
Corner, and let's see who we see and run into and get to talking about the Commanders. And what ended up happening was people were walking up and by us and was like, "Hey, Commanders. Hey, Commander." We were like, "Do you know them?" No, don't know them. They've been speaking to you like this all week. Yeah, I don't know who these people are. Or people would just walk up and be like, great coverage of the Commanders. I know you guys are having a lot of fun.
Oh, so he's coming up at y'all. Okay.
I'm like, yes. Don't know him. Lake Lewis. Candy Waller, hey. Hello. Nobody used to talk to me like at all. Like, nobody was talking to us. You know, I mean, they might be like, "What's up? How you doing?" Dang, it's rough. I know. It's got to be tough. Now it's just like, "Hey, I know y'all having fun. Wow, what is it like to cover Jaden Daniels?"
Mm-hmm.
And it's all Jaden. And if you're paying attention to what
Ooh, I
Jaden
like
is
that one.
doing, Jaden is either working out, throwing, or he's at a game. Like
Mm-hmm.
Jaden is enjoying basketball season. And he's just, going around. He's going to a lot of basketball games, NBA and college, women's basketball. He's going to all of it. He's enjoying himself because he loves basketball, but people just love him, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they love Jaden Daniels, Dan Quinn, and Adam Peters are like the new, I don't know, name a group with 3 people in it.
Oh, like what?
They like
How many?
they like
One
DVD.
12? How many even 112 have?
I don't know.
112 have? Like, didn't they
Yeah,
have like 3?
he did everything. Like they
The locks. There you go. I forgot the locks. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
they like the
Like the locks.
lock. It's
They
sort of
like
like
the locks.
like somebody that everybody loves. Like another.
Yeah, here we go. I feel better about that. I said one.
These 3 people, like it just works. And then but their supporting cast is love just as much. Because then you start hearing, I mean, all right, I think I saw somebody say something about Frankie Lou earlier, and I will just say
I'll pull it up. I know Lamar got a question. I'm gonna read Lamar's question. Lamar, I ain't forget about you. I'm gonna read your question too. But let's see. Oh yeah, my man. Hold on. You said Frankie Louvu, right?
everywhere.
You said Frankie Louvu. I saw a Frankie Louvu question too. I see it. I got it. Steven. Response.
Well, I'll just say a little birdie told me Frankie Louvu is he on demon time this off season. He working real hard, real hard. Really gonna have a better season than he did last year. He ready to roll. People really got their feelings hurt in that NFC Championship game.
I mean, it makes sense. You should. All right, it's a question for Lamar. I told you I ain't gonna forget about you. Lamar says, if Myles Garrett becomes available, what makes some people think that Philly has more to offer Cleveland than Washington can? Our draft picks occur before theirs. They're already at risk of losing key guys. I will say this. I think that the draft, you're right. In terms of pick, we got them, right? But I do think in terms of if they were willing to give rid of some young talent, they got some guys that can make you think about, all right, I like that deal. You know what I mean? Because the young guys they can trade out. Like Smith, they wanted to trade Smith to end. I would be like, damn, that would be tough. You know what I mean? So they got guys, young guys in impactful situations that they could offer with a draft pick. You know what I mean? Compared to Washington. You know what I mean? That's the only thing I would say. But you're right, though. In terms of draft pick, you're right. In terms of what we line up in the draft, I'm not gonna argue that. Steven said Mingo to Dallas with 4th rounder and Deebo to Washington. You're right. That's a good point, Steven. Like we got the better receiver for just the 5th. The Cowboys traded their 4th to get Mingo, underachieving wide receiver. You're right. And no, Mingo could be all right. I'm just saying, like he did underachieve so far.
I'm sure he's fine. Yeah. I'm sure he's fine. But I mean, hey, if Skip Bayless, I saw how he was just unraveling on. He just was very upset. Did you see that?
Boy, nah, what did he say? I mean, I don't watch Skip no more. He annoys me.
I didn't watch him either, but he came up in my newsfeed on X and he was having a whole meltdown about this trade.
Yeah.
And he was saying he thought Jerry was wearing all black, like he was going to his own funeral, and maybe he is. I mean, it was just sad how he was unraveling like that. And I was like, gosh, I don't know if I would unravel like that, but he did. And so I said, well, Commanders fans, if anybody was pessimistic about this move, don't be, because Skip is very upset.
I like this one, DW Spencer. What's going on, homie? You know, I appreciate you. He said, where Deebo helps him most is in the read option game. That misdirection going to have linebackers and DNs in hell. I agree. I do think that him up the middle in the read option, him in space could be crazy.
But yeah,
especially again with Jaden, that Jay and him. Crazy.
You have to look at where the Commanders were weak. You know, you got to look at where they are weak, and so that's an area where they were, for sure.
Yeah. We got George said that Skip was unhappy that Washington got Deebo for a 5th round.
Yeah, he said they
And
stoned
asking
him.
what are the and asking what the Cowboys are doing. He's still to me he's like I think he's a gimmicky Cowboy fan. I don't even think he's that I feel like he's gimmicky. I don't know. I feel like he's too over the top for me. For an ex-journalist who used to be very professional, like before he got the whole debate type thing, he's too over the top for me. Like I feel like now it's more of an act rather than him really being that person. You know what I'm saying? Like at first it was like, but now it's like you see him doing viral stuff. I don't know. Michael Irvin doing that, I believe it, obviously, because he has emotional ties. Skip Bayless, yeah, it's real. Yeah, there you go, Paul. It's real cartoonish. I don't even think it's like 100% him for real.
Yeah.
He said, yeah. Dujane said, I saw Skip was sounding like Drew McIntyre crying. He's talking about that's a wrestler. That's funny. What did George? I'm trying to read some of your comments right now while I'm catching up. He said it makes sense though. He's from Oklahoma and covered the Cowboys for decades in Dallas.
He
so
definitely
kind of makes sense. I'm gonna give you an example. The reason why I say that, all right, for instance, we know I'm not gonna put a name out there, but somebody that we all know is a local reporter, lived in this area, from this area, watched this team for years. But when they do their own content, whatever, they're not over the top like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you could tell, like, obviously he's a fan of the squad to a certain extent. Oh, and you say no, well, he's a deep star. All right, man. I'm just saying, like before, when I used to see him,
he's a big fan. I think he's a fan.
Yeah, I think he's a fan. I just don't know if he's over the top. Not Chick. I ain't talking about Chick.
No,
I ain't talking about Chick. I'm talking about somebody else.
It's not.
I ain't talking about Chick. But I'm just saying, like, and even that Chick is real professional too. Even he's from Silver. I think Chick is from Silver Spring. Like, he's very professional too, though. You know what I mean? Like, you don't. Kevin Sheen, not Kevin. I ain't talking about Kevin either. But Kevin's Kevin's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one. Kevin isn't. He's sports talk radio, which is a little different.
It's a little different if you're not. It is a line draw.
He's a journalist. Right? You know what I'm saying? Like Skip is a journalist.
He is a journalist, but it's a little different when you got a credential. I'm just gonna say it.
Yeah, there you go. You know what I'm saying?
There and you have to sit in the press box to act like you got some sense the whole time. Yeah. And you could get, you know what I mean? You have to. You really have to learn to be objective. Like none of us we're not gonna do what Skip Bayless did last night.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. All I'm saying is like I've seen to your point, like journalists, to your point, like journalists aren't typically over the top like that. Like
once you get the credential and once you have to sit in the press box, you need to act like you got some sense.
Yeah, and then it carries over to us. And then it carries over.
You have to he kind of straddles the fence of being a fan disguised as a journalist.
There you go.
That's what it starts to look like. A fan disguised as a journalist.
There you go.
Because he completely unravels whenever things don't go.
Yeah, it's like, dude, you used to be one of the better
immediately and just lose. He doesn't lose.
Like you used to cover this team when they won Super Bowls. You do know, like, you're one of like the respect. You were one of the respected journalists in football. Like,
absolutely, and that's the challenge. That's the challenge for a different topic for reasons we could talk about over.
Yeah, we do all. Yeah, that's a whole different. Beast.
But it does. Yeah, because it's not the norm. I feel like I saw a question that somebody asked about if left tackle was the focus, and I'm
I do. I saw that. That was let me pull that back up. Yeah, it was
They do have Brandon Coleman.
Yeah, I got you, Boski. I got you, bro. I got you.
They have. I don't want to necessarily call it a focus, because they do have Brandon Coleman. I think it's an opportunity to develop or get better. You know what I mean? I don't know if Brandon Coleman loses his starting spot, but I would say, depending on free agency and who's available, this goes back to guard.
Yeah, I would say, first
guard or your right tackle. If which every one of those are free agents. I think folks think I'm knocking Brandon Coleman because I want to put this out there, the caveat out there that for Ricky and where he was drafted, I think he played really well for where he was drafted at. Because typically dudes that where he was drafted at, they're not starting left tackles. So I'm gonna be real, they're not starting left tackles. And I think that when he got there, he was an improvement to what they currently had on the roster.
Yeah, currently had on the roster.
I mean, he won his position group fair and square.
Exactly.
He wanted fair. Nobody gave them anything just because they were drafted.
Fair.
He wanted fair.
Yes. Totally agree.
And was dealing with the injury throughout the season and still kept his spot.
Agreed. So I agree with you.
So yeah,
I just think that like there is an opportunity. Like I guess, and then this is me. I always say this. I'm spoiled though.
yeah, you
Because there
can't
was
compare everybody to Trent Williams.
exactly that's my problem. I
You
always tell
can't
folks that's
compare
me.
everybody to
That's
Trent
my issue
Williams.
in life. So
Right.
I always put that out there when anybody talks to me. I'm spoiled, and not just even Trent. It was Chris Samuel. Even when I was younger, it was like Jim Lachey, Ray Brown. Like we've always had like top 5 offensive tackles. Like for a while, even when we were bad, we always had like top 5 offensive tackles. So like, so it's not a knock on him. Again, I think he played well. I even thought that, even though he got old boy who we had before, he used to get hated on. What's his face? He was a left tackle prior to Brandon Coleman.
Cornelius, not Cornelius.
No. Yeah, Leno. I thought Leno wasn't horrible like everybody thought. Like I thought he was okay. Like, because again, I had to put myself in the premise of he ain't Trent. Like that's why I had to do that. Like he's not
I
Trent.
think Brandon Coleman was better than Charles Leno.
Who? Oh, he is. He is. No. I'm just saying he's not. Like Leno wasn't there's worse than Leno. Yeah, it's worse than Leno. I guess that's my point. There's worse than Leno. So, but I'm saying for Washington, if they get into a situation where there's a better prospect at 29 than say a Coleman, and I mean you really are in love with him. Like really are in love. You can't believe he slipped to you. I think there's an opportunity to say, you know what? Because Brandon Coleman was a guy that a lot of scouts thought they can play guard. Like they had him their thought process.
Yeah, he might can. There's opportunity there. You just move him somewhere else.
Exactly. But he's a starter to me. He's a starter.
It's definitely a versatility thing as well. This goes back to Deebo. This goes back to other people that can make a move and it not, be detrimental.
I agree with you though. Don't get
to the line.
And to Candy's point, this is what Candy's basically saying. I agree with you. Like, I agree with you. The 54th, basically, yeah. I don't again. If he the left tackle, I'm not saying we need a left tackle. I'm not that person. I'm just saying if there's a situation that presents itself, especially knowing that Cosme's out, there are some things you can do to kind of to take advantage of that situation with Cosme being out. Maybe you don't have to sign so and so. You can slide in somebody else and then sign a left tackle. There's things you can kind of play around with. But to me, it's it has to be the right player. It would always have to be the right player. It has to be the right player for me to say, I'm going to move Coleman away from left tackle. It has to be the player.
It has to be the guy, which I think one of the top ones is staying in LA. Right. I think that was somebody that people thought might have been available. No, the Rams keeping him.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, he's fine. Brandon is fine. But if it's opportunity to get better while displaying a player's versatility in their spot, then okay. I think that's totally fine. But let's be clear, what they just got with Deebo was a need.
Yeah, I agree.
This was not a luxury pick or a move. This was something that was a need. It was a fit that they believe is a fit to what is a Commander and what they need to win now. It was a need.
Yeah.
The Eagles was beating up on them, y'all. The Eagles was beating up on them. We were all sitting there watching them. It was a bully situation. So it was a bully situation. And I was tired of watching it.
Yeah. Hey, no, George. Yeah, I've been spoiled. You're spoiled, but I've been spoiled though. I ain't gonna lie to you, George. I know. That's why it's hard for me to talk about left tackles. I'm not going to hold you. It's hard for me to talk about that here in this area. It's hard for me to talk about left tackles. It is. Okay, I like this. So, what do you think about this comment? Bernie says, "I think Big Luke helped him." Oh, wait. Big Luke? Is he talking about Luke McCaffrey?
Cornelius?
Oh. No, I thought he was talking about Luke McCaffrey. Let me go back. I thought that I could be wrong about that one. Paul said, well, I said they should bring in at least 3 free agent offensive linemen. I'm for depth. It depends on who it should be.
Depth. I mean, hey, depth is gonna be hard in those trenches now. People gonna get hurt.
Yeah.
So that's an opportunity to get better there with that depth next person up, which they did a lot of last year, you all, and they were successful.
All right, I like this. I like this one. I like these questions. All right, so let's go this. Candy, let's go this. All right, with the acquisition of Deebo, what does that mean for folks like De'Ami Brown, Olamide, Noah Brown? What does it mean for folks like that? Do you think is there a chance for any of them to return, or is it more like, nah, it's a wrap? Oh, thank you, Rochelle. Appreciate you.
Hello, Rochelle. Thank you. Okay, well, let me do my job. So there was
go ahead. I'm asking you. That's why you play.
I had to look around like, wait.
Yeah, go for it.
Because clearly you never know who is watching. Because I do
exactly.
repeat it back to me things that I said. I'd be like, dang, when did I say that? They'd be like, in week 13, you said. I'm like, week 13, they play in week 13. Oh, and so I did say it. I meant it. So let's just be, hey, I'm gonna go back to the point of training camp, and I think a couple things there.
Say goodbye.
Noah. I feel like Noah will always be known for the Hail Mary, but I feel like my favorite Noah Brown game was the second game against the Giants.
I think it was a good game. Yeah, that was a really good game.
It's such a good game. And at times he was really emerging as kind of like that number 2, right? We saw De'Ami have some great moments, great impact plays, especially in the playoffs, right? Yeah. Same thing with I know you said, oh wait, I said Olamide. He told me I was right that day. Maybe he was just being.
You're right. Olamide. You're Olamide. They say the same thing. He gonna say the American way.
Okay. So
he gonna say the American. He gonna say with American twang.
Right. He gonna say, okay, you said it right because I'm American. All right, fine.
Like I say the same. Like when folks say Ola, I'll be like,
because did you hear the press conference when Coach Kingsbury was like, he kept calling him Oz.
Yeah, I heard about that.
He told him it was like, is it like that? It's OZ. And he was
OZ.
The whitest thing ever. I guess I'm doing the most
I'll be doing
Black
the same
American thing ever.
I'll be like, people say, try to say my full name, say Woleola. I'm like, you're right. That's about right.
You're just being nice. Because I heard you say your real name earlier, and I was like, I have never heard him say that ever in my life. What is he talking about? So I was like, oh, let me find out. They just probably like poor Americans, poor Black Americans. But okay.
He'd be like, y'all cute. He'd be like, y'all cute. Y'all cute. That's what you say.
Oh God, that's so embarrassing. I'm gonna just call him OZ. Yes, OZ.
Hold on. Yeah.
All right. But I think they're in a tough spot, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because they were definitely moments where they got bullied.
Yeah, they did.
Right. I mean, we saw from a punt return perspective, we saw OZ kind of lose his job there a little bit. It was quiet, but after the Steelers game, that's when you saw Luke McCaffrey going back there more. Right, they made a switch after a few muffed, fumbles and just, wasn't real sure. And I think they're all fantastic. Let me be clear. But when it comes to what is needed from a physicality perspective, I think De'Ami had some fumbles in both
games
and 3 of the Eagles games.
Yeah.
See, I think we all kind of tend to forget how rough round 2 against the Eagles was because the Commanders won the game.
Yeah, that was rough too.
But that was a rough game offensively. It really was starting out. Okay. So I think that, yes, this means it is a point that it was still Terry McLaurin and everybody else.
Yeah.
They brought in someone that had an air quote quiet season, but still had more yards from scrimmage than the rest of the receivers did. And they saw an opportunity to get better, saw an opportunity to get more physical. And I also think this is something that could potentially be said, going back to Anthony Lynn and the fact that he's the running backs coach. And his relationship there, because you can use him out the backfield, and you just need that impact player. You need them because the running back started getting bullied too by the Eagles.
You all got bullied. I mean, the offensive line
Y'all
got bullied. Everybody got bullied.
all got bullied.
Everybody got bullied, other than like your starting quarterback. Everybody got bullied.
So I think there is something to say, like, whoop, from a numbers perspective, we talking yards after carry, all that. You got somebody that's better.
Yeah.
And,
I will say, like, I do think they got to bring maybe one, whoever they decide to bring, because again, you need more than just 2 to 3. You need, deeper. You need a deeper room for Jaden. Period. So depending on who you want to bring in, what the cost value is, one of the 3, I feel like has to return. I'll let anybody else decide on who they want.
For sure. I mean, I don't know the extent of Noah's injury, meaning
but
how
I would,
he could play, because he did endure a very serious injury. They didn't realize how serious it was at first, and it was very, very serious. So I'm not sure what that means, but I do know how much they really thought the world of Dion. Really, really.
Yeah, he played well.
Stayed true to that.
Everybody knows I'm biased with Diami, so it's not even a thing. Like, I like Diami. I thought he showed who he was in the postseason, being one of the most productive receivers in all of the postseason. So I do think that with a guy like Deebo Samuel, you still utilize Diami Brown with the Deebo. You know what I mean? I feel like you can never have too many home run hitters. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You can never. That's the thing. Like, you saw in the postseason that Diami was a home run player. You can never have. I would rather have, when you have somebody like Jaden Daniels, I would like to have people who can score quick if possible. You know what I mean? Who can change the field easily. You know what I mean? So,
you got to flip the field.
My opinion, like, bringing him back, depending on the money, I totally agree with you. But depending on the money, I think would be good. I think it can put your wide receiver unit in a better position. And also, like anything in sports, if people know, like, if you ever competed and a guy who has ability but never kind of like has been down on themselves because they didn't really achieve what they need to achieve or felt like they could achieve. I do believe, like, once you achieve it, once you start to play well, it's a snowball effect, because you saw it in the postseason. It was a snowball effect. Because no one can deny that Diami, with his talent skill set, was in North Carolina, where he was drafted at, where people thought he'd be much better than what he is. He finally had that success and tasted it and got the opportunity, and that's why he played well. I do feel like, knowing what happened last season and what he did in the postseason and transitioning that to, like, maybe in the regular season next year, he'll be a better football player for it. Yeah, well, I agree with that. Deebo is a guy who just can take it to the house.
Yeah, he's gonna take it to the house.
He's
the rough at the line of scrimmage. He's the trenches. That's your trenches goon.
That's your goon.
Deebo is your trenches goon.
Facts.
You ain't gonna bully me. That's Deebo. Anybody else, ain't gonna get. I think probably the last game of the regular season, Diami's throw to OZ. I think didn't OZ drop it or something? That was from Diami, right? That was a Diami.
Drop what?
It was a pass in the end zone.
That in the regular season. Yeah, he dropped that. Yeah.
That pass came from Diami, didn't it?
That was a regular season. Yeah. That was early in the season.
I'll tell y'all now, they had a few of those plays drawn up. Diami could throw.
Oh, you talking about what he could throw? Usually, you know what? You talking about the one that? Wait, you talking about the one Diami dropped or the one he threw?
He threw. The one that he threw.
Oh, the one against Dallas. Yeah, he threw that thing to what's his name? To OZ, who dropped it.
OZ dropped it, right?
Yeah, OZ dropped it. Trash. I was so angry at OZ for that, because I was starting to hate on OZ, and I started liking him again because of the game.
I think he always makes up for it somehow. But
yeah, he do. He just be like so inconsistent. OZ be trying to hurt my feelings because he's Nigerian. It hurts me just to like talk disrespectfully about him. It does. It hurts me. It does something to me. I don't know why. I feel so bad when I talk bad about him, but then I just can't help it, because it's like I'll be like, dude, you make me do the things I don't want to do. Hey, all right, here you go. The 54th said pick one of the Browns or Brown, whatever, one of the Browns, and pick one of OZ and Crowder who plays for Washington next season. Oh, it's okay. So for me, I'm not gonna lie to you. For me, I would take Diami because of what Candi talked about earlier, the injury situation with Noah Brown. Like, that was a serious injury. And Noah Brown has injury history, period, and just his time in the league. So in terms of the safer play, looking at injuries and and whatnot, who's gonna be available. I think somebody had that in the chat about being available. I would take Diami. Between OZ and Crowder, I love the vet, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. Crowder is just so consistent. I'm gonna say Crowder. He's just he plays teams. He's a good returner, and he's just such a clutch dude out of the slot. So I would say Crowder. But OZ played tough, man. Like, he did. He played very very
There was a couple of OZ games where he was like, you know what? That's what's up, OZ. Because I used to give him a bad rap too. So, you know.
gangster. You said to or by. He just like I said, to or bye.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's just
They're not keeping everybody. I agree.
You
They're not keeping
know, they
everybody.
can't. They
Nah.
cannot. You know, that's just the numbers game. You know, it's just how the roster goes.
I would try.
It's just
I
how
would
the
definitely
roster
try.
flows. I mean, I know there's conversations now about Devontae Adams. Just throwing it out here. I don't know because I'm
for Washington.
Devontae Adams could probably be released or whatever.
He's about to be released. That's true. He is going to get released. This is Washington. Are they talking about Washington?
You know, you're talking about that last year.
They talk about last year. I like him. But I don't know if he's I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't know if he's
You just go wherever Aaron go. He just need to go wherever Aaron Rodgers go.
Yeah. To your point, I don't think he's I like Devontae. I like Devontae. I don't think he's a Washington culture guy.
It's hard. That's all I'm looking for. At least it's in here.
Right.
I completely understand. Because I think I know what a commander is, and I need to run it because I have not seen. I've asked many questions about the commander standard.
Yeah.
So I know what it is, and based on players that I believe show the commander standard.
Yeah.
I believe like the postseason captains.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Those are commanders standard.
Got you. Yeah, great.
Right?
Yeah.
Frankie Louvu is a commander standard. I believe Jeremy.
Yeah, that's a good standard because he plays his butt off. Yeah.
Right. And the people I'm not naming, I'm not saying that they're not. But I'm just saying, I know.
That's why they have Deebo.
I just know these people. Like, I'm gonna go back to Jaden Daniels, and I even use for what it's worth of Bobby Wagner.
Yeah.
Right. I even use a Mikey Samersteele. I think he's, you talk about some good humans, all right? Mm-hmm. But on that football field, they somebody else.
Yeah.
But they're still they're still leaders. They're still very, brotherhood leaders. But don't you come playing with them and don't think they a sucker either.
Mm-hmm.
Like, nah, because Terry McLaurin is the kindest of dudes. But let me tell you something. Keep playing with Terry. And it's going to be another storyline. It's going to end a different way for you. And it's just, and so I've heard the Deebo Samuel stories, right? But you a little different when you somewhere with people that you coming in and you love. And let's also be clear, Deebo done played in the Super Bowl and lost.
Yeah.
He want to win one. He wants to win. So you got to be somewhere. Like, these guys are not just playing for the heck of it, y'all. Maybe some of them are. But what made me feel like Myles Garrett was a commander was when in that nice letter he wrote to the city of Cleveland, and he had to be real. Like, this ain't just getting into Canton. I want to be a champion. And I was like, that's some commander talk right there. They're going to go get him.
Yeah, Myles Garrett, I know he fits.
So it's just, you got to have that respect. But even like a Marshawn Lattimore, now that I've had a few conversations with him, I know sometimes people get upset with him. And I
do you think
that level of goon that he has?
I do like his goonness. I do like his goonness.
That's a goon. And that's why I'm like, I'm still trying to figure out which part of the commander standard is it? Mm-hmm. Because a goon, he's a goon.
Mm-hmm.
And that reminds me, Deebo.
Yeah.
Deebo's a goon. But they're really good guys. They really are cool.
I love Eagle fans, man. I'm glad y'all came back. Go ahead.
We're happy to see him.
I ain't mad at y'all. Congratulations to him, man. Congratulations. Go ahead.
I mean, hey, Super Bowl, but everybody's back in business, though. everybody's back in business. I saw it this week. These people, ain't nobody sleep because you got to, look at, and don't ever sleep on the Chiefs either. But these are teams that don't necessarily have to play the Chiefs in order to get to where they need to go,
Yeah.
But the Chiefs are back in locked in mode. Why? Because they got beat up in the Super Bowl.
Man.
So
start
that's
thinking
another
about
team,
being
you know what I mean? So it's just, I don't know. I think I'm still like, well, what is the Commander? I think I know. I've never seen that, not show me the definition, but I can just go by who I'm like, yeah, that's because Frankie Lou is a goon. Nice human, but don't play with Frankie. Don't play with Frankie. So
Candy says Candy is on point. Backing up what she said, the level of goon about Deebo, he felt that he should have gotten the ball to win it. Yeah, he did. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it's just, you need people like a Terry McLaurin that can say, here's what I'm saying, give me the football.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Execute.
Yeah.
And it should be okay. And if these are two, if this your, I mean, other than, let's go back to the Eagles. Other than Saquon, most of the time, Jalen Hurts is only going to throw it to 2 other people.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Yeah. Most of the time.
So it's just, you got to go with what works. I know Coach Quinn said last week, last year at this time, of course, they didn't know what a commander was. They didn't know what it was, right? This year, they have a more clearly defined definition of it. And they did say they're going to bring most of the guys back that are free agents. They did say they want to bring someone back. I mean, it's not like everybody.
I mean, they should. I mean, they got some guys they should want to bring back.
Right?
Yeah,
they should. It's like, oh, everybody, none of these worked out.
Yeah, we don't need to worry about IU. I don't want to do IU talk.
You need to.
I'm not. No, IU. I don't need no IU.
It's interesting because I keep seeing comments like the one here about you beat Kenny Pickett, and what people don't understand.
They're still at 30
about that round 2 game is that the offense
was still they did their job.
Ended up as much trash as the defense, the Eagles defense, number one, talk to Jaden Daniels in that offense. They still allowed them to score a touchdown to Jamison Crowder to win the football game.
Well, I mean, to be real, like the reason why I don't hold that, they scored 30 plus. Look, like Pickett did his job. They didn't beat. He did his job.
Literally,
the people that didn't do their job.
He did enough to win that football game with that defense.
Yeah,
when people mention that defense allowed Jaden Daniels and that Washington and that.
I'll say it right there. This is pretty much it.
That's pretty much it.
That's pretty much it.
And that's why I can tell you, and I have no problem saying this, that Howie Roseman is real clear that shouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
So any other moves that the Commanders make on offense, they are looking and watching and ready to respond.
And I only like mention this game.
Like clear, like this is football. You have to be objective in this game. And the reality is, with the number one defense, is no way as amazing as Jaden Daniels is, and many of the people on offense, there's no way they should have allowed that Commanders offense to score in the manner in which they did. It was unacceptable.
Yeah. No, I'm saying, like, I mean, don't get. I give Eagles all the flowers. Like they got
always. You see people make comments like this, and then it's like, take the fandom out of it.
Yeah.
The Eagles should have won that football game.
Easily should have won it. Like it should have went to, like, the defense should have played their part. That's why I look at it.
Right.
No, to your point. Nah. So, but back on. I would do want to ask this, but because we got to kind of like tackle this before we end the show off, because we're over an hour and you're doing a great job. I'm hungry. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I be chilling. I was like, oh, you got Deebo. Okay. Let's gotta talk about this.
Yeah, but here, no. You're right. We're gonna talk. No, we good. We killing it. We killing it. So all right, I do want to ask this question because I do think this is a very important question to ask. All right. Around next year, when start of this upcoming season, Terry McLaurin and Deebo Samuel will both be paid around the same amount of money. I think I believe Deebo's getting $17.55 million for 2025. Terry is roughly like at $18.8 million in 2025. These are all with bonuses and whatnot. So that's his total. Both are going to be free agents in 2026. Could this be a problem?
Today is not. Stay focused.
Yeah, today. Stay on the day, right? Stay on the day.
Deal with it next year. But
Do it. Or during the season, right? Because you got to kind of look at it like
during the season. And I think it's always that show and prove. I really feel like this team is like show and prove, show and prove, show and prove. I ain't got to deal with it today. That's a tomorrow problem. You know,
yeah, it's a tomorrow problem. I
it's
agree.
a tomorrow problem, and show and prove. You
Yeah, I
know,
think
it's
so
not an
too.
issue for today. It's not a
Yeah,
problem.
everybody love your not
Today is not, you know, but that's what
Oh man, I
they've
love
been
it. I
on,
love
right?
it.
That's kind of what they've been on. They're consistent in that regard too.
Mhm.
You know, keeping guys for a long time, hurrying up and making decisions and all that for what? You know, show and prove. And I think that showing and proving is the name of the game. You see, you may see the league and other teams start to kind of follow that same model.
Yeah.
If I want you here, but you got to prove it. And while there's still what is new is the shape and the face of the foundation of the organization, right? Because this is year 2 for them. I think they're more clear, of course, than they were last year. But it's got to be guys that they say these are commanders, and it's got to result in Super Bowl appearances. Apparently, you know what I'm saying? It's got to result in NFC conference championships, and if it doesn't, they have to make moves to adjust. And I think they're okay with that.
He goes, Eric says, I kind of agree with this. You know, y'all know I love Terry. Give Terry what he wants. If he wants it, I mean, he wants it now, give it. If not, okay. Yeah. Like I said, I think Terry wants it now, though.
But I'm sure he'll also be like, whatever we got to do to win, I'm good.
True,
I know y'all got me.
True.
We ain't even got to have that conversation right now. Terry just got married. Congratulations again.
Yeah,
Terry,
correct. He just got married too. So, yeah.
You know.
Yeah, yeah. He got grown up problems right now.
Terry out here dressing like a top 5 receiver. I promise you, I had the funniest conversation with Terry McLaurin after that Detroit Lions game because I could not.
Oh, he was on. He was on.
I could not help myself. I might have had a borderline Skip Bayless conversation with him at the end of the game. Might have been borderline Skip Bayless.
He was on one.
He was definitely, come on, Candi, let's go. I know that's right. I was like, I'm trying to talk to you in my corner here.
Yeah, he was
I
on.
I already knew what time it was with you, kid. Like, are you kidding me? You coming in here? You coming in here like Cliff Kingsbury? You want to get covered?
My man was on that. He was on one. I like that Terry. I love that Terry. I love that version of Terry. I mean, I like Terry in general, but I like that version of Terry. Will be a non-story when Terry gets his extended this all season. Yeah, I just wanted. Yeah, that's my point. Like, basically, it's like how fast you get this extension. You know what I mean? Because it kind of, like players are different, man. Players are different. It's all about there is like a pecking order, and people want that to be known. You know what I'm saying? So within the monetarily, right? Speaking.
Yeah.
So like
show up in the money.
Yeah. So and even the most humble dude is like that to a certain extent because they're so competitive. So I kind of like, and not everybody's like that. So I'm not, to your point, Terry may be like, let's wait it out. You know what I mean? Because I know y'all gonna do right by me. But it happened in terms of today's athlete. It's natural. That's how it is. It's like, oh, you got a new dude. You know, it's a 1-year deal. And my deal is up too. I don't want y'all pin us against each other. Just handle my contract now. Therefore, there's no pressure on which one you want to keep or whatever. You know what I mean? Like that, if that's even a discussion. So it's kind of by giving him the extension now, you pretty much let folks know where they stand. You know what I mean? So,
and I definitely think that in spaces where winning isn't the norm, and like you actually see it in a tangible way, meaning it shows up on the actual scoreboard. The money matters a whole lot. Like you got to keep me here for a price, like a huge price.
True.
But I think Terry is so happy. I mean, y'all heard him say it. You heard him say it in several press conferences. I'm having the time of my life.
He means it. You can see it. You can see it.
And he would talk about the joy he was feeling, like coming to work. Like, I love coming to work. I feel so much joy when I'm here. And I'm like, I've been here as long as he here, and he never said that.
No, you can see it though.
So
You can see it.
you can see it. That man is very happy, and so I don't think the money conversation. There will be a conversation, and it may happen more than sooner than later for sure. But I think he's
I would say to coaches like one more contract for Terry, say a 5-year deal. Dang, he's gonna be 30. He's 30 right now actually. So the next deal 31, 5, maybe a 4-year deal. I would say a 4-year deal. His next contract. I would say for 5. I mean, he's 30 already.
Everybody's doing all this talking about this week. They need to figure out what they're gonna do about the kicker.
Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about that. I think look,
look,
man, that's another show. That's a whole different topic. You know what? Because like there's a draft. I feel like I saw somebody post this on X about like looking at kickers. It could have been you. I don't know who it was, but looking at kickers in the draft. I mean, in the combine. Excuse me. So I'm like
another kicker competition on its way.
No, I just like draft one. It ain't competition when you draft a good one. You already got the job. That's how. If you draft a rookie who was really good in college and one of the best kickers in the country, he should be your kicker.
Because kicker is important. We have all learned, and especially this season. Oh my God.
Oh, it's very, very important. Kickers are, I believe, like for especially this offense. Well, actually, I don't know. Like we don't be kicking. We go for everything, so I don't even know anymore.
Yeah, Coach Penn was like, y'all know how we get down. Now. We
go for everything.
We doing this, we doing that, and I'm just like, these people are nuts.
In the 7th round, ain't good. Nowadays, these good ones don't be in the 7th round, George. They be in the 4th. You gotta give them the 5th or something like that.
People are looking for kickers.
They looking for kickers.
We also cover. Shout out to Career Parts, the Baltimore Ravens. They got a kicker issue right now. So
because you got they got
kickers. People gonna need a kicker, and we saw the kicker, go down the tubes.
Yeah,
the two overall. Just in.
And you got questions out there too. I see your post. You got questions about who to bring back. Zane Gonzalez.
Oh yeah,
Cybert. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Because he also came back a little too early and it jacked up the money in that Dallas game.
I agree with you. 54 like 5-year deals are for I know. Terry will get like a 4-year deal. 3-year with basically 9. I agree with that. This is what I feel like a 4-year, especially the age too. I think 3-year with a fourth year option. I can see something like that or something like that. Well, they don't do options they don't do options in the NFL. 4-year deal with an option probably like the release to help the cap or something like that. I can see that happening. Let's see. All kickers can go.
I'm telling you, it's an overhaul. It's a do-over. It's over in the kicking category. I think people know that. And we'll see. Corner is still a question. Offensive line, it's another question. It's tight end.
I mean, for me, I keep telling. I'm the one. I'm in love with Zach Ertz, man. I'm in love with Zach Ertz.
Me too. I don't know if he's coming back. I don't know what's happening. I wish
they better stop playing with my emotions when it comes to Zach Ertz.
Every time certain players' names come up, people look at me and I be like, I don't know.
They better not play in my emotions with Zach Ertz. That's
you're stressing me out. I'm like, well, am I supposed to know? Is it the fact that I don't know an issue? Because I'm trying to, let people be where they are. And I don't ask questions, like how you doing, but I don't be like, so are you coming back or not? Because
he better be back. Oh, Jay Daniels' teammate, the tight end. I ain't worried about I want Pips. This is the thing. I don't care if you're Jaden Daniels. I won't like Paul. You're my guy. I don't care if you're cool with Jaden. I'll be real with you. I need you to build your whole team first. And if tight end is Mason D, I know. If the tight end is a big problem,
it ain't a problem.
There's not a problem. You got to tackle your big problems. Forget anything else. You got to tackle your big problems first. You know what I'm saying? Unless you you giving me Brock Bowers out of Georgia, I don't the dude that plays for the Raiders. Unless you get me that type of tight end, I don't need you.
They got more problems on line of scrimmage.
Yeah, line of scrimmage. You got to start that's what Jaden Daniels' friends got to be on the defensive line or the offensive line. That's what Jaden Daniels' friends got to be from.
And starting field position wasn't as strong as it could have been. You keep trying to play me like that's not important. Yes, it is.
Hell yeah.
So our
Yeah.
field position is
Nah, he ain't no Brock Bowers good. He all right, but he ain't Brock Bowers good, bro. He's solid, but he ain't Brock Bowers good. You gotta be generational, bro. Like I ain't gonna lie, he ain't generational. You gotta be generational to mess with me for like that. Like they need to be they need to fix what the Eagles did to them. That tight end ain't fixing what the Eagles did to them.
no.
That's what it is.
No.
That's what you, Paul. You said it yourself, man. You see the blueprint of who you got to go against. That tight end ain't gonna help you.
You just gotta go back to going back to tight ends is like a Zach Ertz. You know, he's another one who talked a lot about the fact that he was basically like he didn't have no job at the time. Like nobody was called, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nobody was calling him. Nobody was looking out for him. This goes back to what I said about this coaching staff. And the athletic training staff. I'm trying to tell you, they were like, I made a comment and I realized I was like, this might have been borderline unprofessional, but it was still professional. Like if they continue to do the Lord's work, because I'm like, I don't know how they are getting these guys ready to play a football game, and they're well. How they're beat up and they were still making it happen. So that's a good thing. It's a very good thing. I'm sure they want Dak to stay.
Okay. I got you, Paul. I got you. Yeah, I know. I feel like
he wants to continue playing.
Yeah, he wants to. I hope he is. I mean, I hope they give him, like, again, it's also depends. Again, it's going to depend on the offer, the offer they give him, and also how Vincent has progressed, you know, in their eyes. You know what I mean? Like that's a thing.
Yeah, well, I think that's another thing. We really do have to look at the last year's draft class.
Yeah, for real.
Well, you know, Ben Sinnott, Luke McCaffrey, Dominique Hampton, didn't really get any playing time as, you know, as safety. They're trying to use him as linebacker, you know. McGee was dealing with that injury. So it's still some questions there from last year's draft class and seeing what they can do.
Yeah, I'm very biased. I love Kyle Pitts, but yeah, I can't. And yeah, I wouldn't get. I like Kyle Pitts a lot, but I wouldn't bring him here. I like him a lot though. I do like Kyle Pitts a lot.
Impact pieces.
Yeah, he's an impact player, but he hasn't. He hasn't played to like he's supposed to be dominant. Let me put it this way: he's really good. He was supposed to be dominant, and he's not dominant. And I love Kyle Pitts. He's talent wise, he should be dominant, and he's not dominant. So it is what it is. I like Kyle Pitts a lot, though. I do. I think when I look at Kyle Pitts, I see so much talent, but he hasn't really cracked the code on his game. But Paul, we're gonna talk about them draft picks during draft time, bro. You know what I'm saying?
If they keep the 29.
Yeah, if they keep 29. If they keep 29. All right, Candi, how can folks catch you on social media, and how can they catch your great content?
Follow me on X at CWall SE. Make sure you all follow. You can find me on Candi Waller on all platforms, the CEO, CWall on IG. Make sure you're subscribed to Bowie TV as it's going across the screen here and at Bowie TV Sports, but definitely hit the YouTube Bowie TV. We have a lot of content. It's not just sports, everybody. So it's a ton of content, ton of other shows as well. Next up is what free agency starts next week. Well, you know, franchise tags, all that stuff happening this free agency next week. So we will be busy, and then at the end of March, it will be the league meetings in West Palm Beach, and then you know it's pro days all up, you know, up until draft. So the non-season is still quite busy.
It's always busy. It is always busy. You know what I'm saying? We don't have a franchise tag player. Wait, look. Paul, we gonna get to that on next shows, dude. Trust me. We about Deebo right now, right? Deebo, you know what I'm saying? Dude riding the bike, snatching chains. That's what we about right now.
You needed a dude on a bike snatching chains.
That's what we about right now. That's all. That's what it is. All right.
You needed a demon out there.
Yeah, you got one. Anyway, appreciate you, Candi, for pulling up. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Anyway, you've been listening to the Urban Sports Scene for ages. Deuces, we are out.
Peace.